Alrighty, hello everybody, and welcome to the first match of the North American Mania Tournament 2023 semifinals. Already approaching that late game, the matches are going to get longer, the map pools are going to get bigger, and the excitement is going to reach an all-time high, at least hopefully. We got the first match of the weekend, a losers bracket match. To get us started, it's going to be NV going up against Halogen, both players fighting for their tournament lives here as we make our way through these warm-ups. And oh boy, there's a lot to look forward to in this match. Two very evenly matched players looking to try and push their way up into the second half of the semifinals weekend for a battle against either A Sharp or Mr. Moo. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined in the commentary booth this time by none other than Mash. Mash, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm really looking forward to this match. I think this is going to be really competitive, especially on the Rice side. Yeah, I'm just really looking forward to seeing who moves on in the bracket here.
Yeah, for sure, as you mentioned. Both these players very physically proficient, very accurate as well. On the right side of the map pool, I think both of them have very similar, I don't want to say struggles, because they're both really good at LN, but I think the favoritism towards the right side of the pool has made itself apparent as we've made our way through this tournament for both these players. Definitely able to handle their own on the LNs, but definitely not something they'll probably willingly be picking into. It'll be interesting to see which of these two, if either of these two, decide to go into that. And meanwhile, we're just wrapping up this second of two warm-ups. After this, we'll be getting into that all-important role in the protects, bans, and that first pick. And I think that first pick is going to help set the tone for what is to come in this match.
Yeah, it is certainly an interesting matchup. But with no further ado, let's get into the match procedure.
Yep, and the rolls come in with haste, 36-23. Envy going to be winning that one, so getting the option of protecting or banning first. But I believe they get the first pick regardless, and it looks like they're going to ban first, which is pretty interesting, but definitely a pursuable strategy, maybe just wanting to make sure that what they want to get rid of is gotten rid of.
Excuse the DJ Bancho. Where do you think Halogen might protect?
Normally, under most circumstances, I imagine a Rice Protect would be like just shotgunned out without hesitation. But in a matchup like this, I wonder if they've worked on any of these hybrids, or maybe even the LNs, to a point where they can maybe pivot to that as kind of like a fake out or a 180, or maybe just an ace up the sleeve, but it looks like not going to be the case. It's going to be Euphoria to protect.
Euphoria, yeah, the long one.
Oh boy.
That's an interesting protect for sure. Now we're going to be getting into Envy's protect.
Yeah, Envy's protect. Or if we're maybe just jumping the gun a little bit. We'll get that sorted out. And then from here, Envy, their protect is going to be Bailando here.
Yeah, I'm hoping that's their protect.
And then Envy going to be throwing out their ban.
Yeah, Rice 7 are Jack pick, the first real dedicated Jack pick in these pools so far.
Yeah, pretty interesting introductory BPM, but I think with it being introduced as late as it is in this round, kind of warrants itself being a bit of a jump to what people might be expecting. So get into the bans now, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a back-to-back LN ban, something like the Middle East or N Mark getting removed. wouldn't be surprising at all.
A little bit of confusion in the lobby. So Envy is
Yeah.
banning Rice 7, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wonder if we might have just missed a message. You know how Banjo likes to eat some of the messages sometimes.
Yeah, okay. And Halogen banning Long Note 2 I don't think is much of a surprise. I do think Envy banning the Jack pick is probably a good move. I think Halogen could be really strong accuracy-wise on that.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with how black and white core jacks can be. Definitely don't want to take a risk sharpshooting that. Imagine that's going to be a very popular pick for the more physical oriented players trying to assert some dominance, but right now I think all that's needed is starting out with that protect was from Envy. So yeah, just waiting to get everything in order. And then
Looks
protect
like
LN1.
Yeah, protecting LN1, and so the bans are inconsequential, not effective.
Yeah, they wouldn't have overlapped anyways, so just wanted to make sure. Got everything on screen, set up in order, so
looks good. And so now
looks
Envy
very
won
good.
the roll, so they are going to be picking first. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a Long Note.
Yeah, I could see a long note pick coming out here. Really all three, or one of the hybrids.
Hybrid 1.
I love it when the artist name is so long you can't see the actual title. But there's going to be first pick of this match, best of 11. First to 6 will be guaranteeing themselves at least one more match. Not done with the weekend just yet. Gotta get rid of that conditional as well, so a lot to look forward to here.
Client is not okay. Envy was playing the wrong map somehow. But let's get into DX Super Performance Full Metal Girl by ArtCat.
When Halogen gonna be finding a first break very early on in this map. Gonna give Envy a bit of a lead to work with, especially during these transitions. A lot of reverse shields coming out, basically catching them out as we continue on. Envy not impervious to damage, but able to hold on to the FC in that mid 99% range. Definitely handling this a lot better despite finding the break, finally training it back. But I think damage has been done very early on as we make our way into the second quarter of this chart.
Yeah, Halogen slowly but surely recovering here. Envy and taking a big drop there, dropping below 99.
Yeah, now Halogen has gotten back up over that 400 combo cap, established a bit of a foothold in this map. Gonna go chip away at this lead slowly but surely as we continue on here. Envy about to cross that 99% mark, finding a couple of 200s, but gonna put a little bit of a damper on the recovery run. Halogen now up into that 98.4 range, up to try and contest. Envy needs to be careful here. Now over that 400 combo cap, gonna be able to mitigate some of this lead slipping away, but definitely not out of the woods just yet. Last quarter of the chart left to go. and another drop from Envy as we transition on into this bit of a speedier right section. A lot of short LNs making their way through here, but you'd imagine Halogen's going to be able to take this and run with it as Envy finds a massive drop on the transition into the LNs. And now Halogen has the lead to work with going into the last sliver of the chart. They're still behind by about 0.2%, but with all these drops from Envy,
drop. Yeah, Halogen holding that 2000 combo at the very end clutched it for him. Despite, I think, ending up with the accuracy disadvantage, yeah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of combo gaming at the end of the day. Sometimes that gets you through situations like this, able to keep that miss column just that little bit lower than Envy and able to take the first break point in this match to make it 0-1.
Yeah, that's actually really huge. A breakpoint on the first pick.
Yeah, get some momentum here, get some confidence as well. You imagine trying to get breakpoints this late on in the tournament. It's a bit hard to come by, and now you can go into something maybe a little bit more risky. Something like Chaos Japan feels like a very Halogen-esque pick. Unsurprising they're gonna go for this.
Yeah, our Rice 6, not mapped by me, this is from Penguinosity. It's very short.
Yeah, minute 23. Quick in, quick out. Try and capitalize on that breakpoint that was taken here to try and go 2 to good very early on in this match. Envy looking to try and respond here. As we make our way into the start of this map, it's going to be a matter of keeping the drops to a minimum, and Envy going to be finding the first one here, not traded back just yet, and that was before that 400 combo cap. So now as Halogen crosses over, they're going to be able to extend this lead just a little bit. A couple of mini jack anchors coming through every now and again, transitioning into a bit of hands. And between the two of them, Halogen, the more comfortable of the two at the moment, 99.6 to 99.1, going to the back half of the chart.
Yeah, he's certainly a lot more comfortable here. Very healthy accuracy lead, and enjoying the combo lead extended by that miss by Envy. That's really gonna hurt Envy's overall score here, given how short this map is. And again,
yeah, on maps as short as this, you can't afford to find the drops. Halogen does finally lose the FC, but the damage has been done. And Envy finding another couple of drops on this more hand core jacky section before we get into this last sliver. Now the players trading back and forth, but these trades only help Halogen in this instant. It's a full percent the difference between the two of them at the moment in terms of accuracy, and right from the offset, Halogen able to capitalize successfully to go 0-2 up. Oh, those ratios are so close. It's just those 200 counts.
yeah, and especially the misses. That's a really volatile pick. It's really like do or die in those 1 minute and 21 seconds. 23, excuse me. And now Halogen up 2-0, but Envy is still only down by 1 breakpoint. Plenty of time for them to recuperate.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine now. Ooh, I was about to say now the gloves might come off, go into the LNs, but no, gonna stick with the hybrids here. So $100 bills going to be the next pick for Envy.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Maybe they know something we don't, but personally I would have perhaps gone into the dedicated long note picks after losing a hybrid. We'll see. We'll see how this turns out.
Yeah, the first one might have been gonna be trying to shake out some nerves, make it a little bit more comfortable on the transitions in between. And especially with the format getting just that little bit longer, you can afford to explore a little bit in these early picks before you dive back down. Because at the end of the day, there are only 6 combined hybrid LNs. You're going to need to go into these sooner rather than later. Better to get into the LNs once you're fully warmed up. But regardless, we are now into Hybrid 3, $100 bills. Halogen up 2-0 right now over Envy.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the longer the map pools get, uh, kind of the more strategy you can employ with your picks.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, through this introduction, both players still holding on to their FCs very early on, about 2,000 points the difference between the two of them. Envy showing their comfort early on, 99.7, 99.3. I feel like with these more LN-oriented hybrids, it's going to be Envy pulling away just a little bit. Got to be able to keep the consistency as Halogen tries to keep their accuracy ahead. But right now, finding the first break on the side of Halogen, going to give Envy a bit of a cushion to work with for the moment. 4/10 the difference between the two of them at the moment.
Yeah, slipping up on those really dense split trill jump trills. Easy to get kind of lost in there, but Halogen managed to keep that miss pretty clean, though now he's dropped down to 99.15. Envy is holding really strong with a 99.6 full combo thus far.
Yeah, approaching the second third of this map, but we've seen this story before. It happened on Hybrid 1 where Envy pulled off this pretty sizable lead before they started trading back and forth a little bit, and Envy wasn't able to keep it through to the end. But so far, much stronger start, maybe settling in just a little bit as we make our way into the back half of the chart. 99.6 for them. Halogen starting on the climb once again. 99.2, recovering very nicely from their earlier drop.
Ooh, both players holding through the build-up. We get into this slightly more Rice and short LN oriented drop here.
Yeah, very technical nature. Last third of the map upcoming. A lot more of these LNs start to make themselves more apparent, and Envy finding a drop on the transition between in the Rice and an Earth Slider break as well. That's going to start doing a little bit of damage here. 99.4, still able to keep it relatively clean, staying ahead for the moment. Can't afford to find another drop here as they start to build up to that 400 combo cap. We get into a bit more of a dedicated LN section, and the Rice transitions once again a little bit more straightforward now. And you guys start to be able to climb once again. Last quarter of the map still to come. Halogen holding on strong to that combo at the moment. Gonna need to do this once again, but Halogen finds the slider break, unable to capitalize, similar to the last trade. But Envy,
I think Envy still does have some wiggle room here. I think it's on Halogen to try and catch up, or hope for Envy to drop once more in this last sliver of map. Oh, and there it is! Is there enough time for Halogen to catch up?
I think if Halogen had avoided that last break, they might have been able to do something about that lead, but that last slider break does just enough to keep Envy ahead, and Envy notches their first point on the board. 1-2 now, very close between these two.
Yeah, only about 4,000 points between them. Halogen holding on with 5 fewer misses, but a much rockier 200 count there. Wow.
Yeah, it's those fine margins. We're seeing it between the two of them at the moment, where they just trade those 200 counts. One has them lower on one map, the other one has them lower on a different map, and at the end of the day, that's what makes a difference. As Halogen immediately going for Fuego here.
Yeah. Rice 5. I believe this is certainly one of the easier picks in the pool. I think Halogen is looking to capitalize on his pristine accuracy and snatch another point from Envy.
Yeah, and another short map to go into as well. A bit of a palate cleanser to that 3-minute gauntlet we just went through in Hybrid 3. And the mirror coming out as well. Yeah, this is definitely a very Halogen-centric map. Very awkward bursts to read through, very uncomfortable snaps, flams, grace notes all over the place. And Envy gonna be finding a first drop, pretty significant one as well. 99.2 for them. Halogen not too far ahead though. 99.6 for them through this introduction. And by that nature of these shorter maps, those misses are amplified.
Yeah, at the very start, it looked like Envy had the accuracy advantage, but it's completely flipped now. As they both make their way over the 400 combo cap, the accuracies are much closer now.
Yeah, but Halogen's still holding on to the FC here.
Oh,
Ooh. Yeah, those bursts can get pretty nasty. The LN's not the most trivial. You definitely need to pay attention to him on a map like this and be finding that slider break on the transition into the last third of the chart. Gonna help cushion this lead once again for Halogen. It looks like there's a bit of a clear difference in terms of comfort on these maps, and the Halogen is starting to climb back up into that 99.7 range, really starting to pull away now as Envy tries to recover. But I mean, there's really not a lot of time left. Last eighth of the map left to go. And despite Envy's best efforts, they're going to need Halogen to find a couple of misses here, but it's going to be Envy finding the drop on the transition, and that might be the final nail in this coffin for this chart.
yeah. It looks like that'll do it. Halogen takes his pick, bringing them to 3-1. Still, Envy is only down one breakpoint. If they can steal one from Halogen, I think that could completely turn the tide here.
Yeah, very clean run overall from both of them. Just put a finger over that 3 on the miss column from Envy, and that's a pretty respectable score right there in its own right. But as it stands, Halogen ahead 3-1 now. As Envy starts to dive into that lower half of the map pool, it's going to be LN1 here.
Yeah, I think this is probably Envy's best pick right now. At least investigating in the long note side of things. I think this is where they might find their stride and take a couple more points.
Yeah, for sure, especially with this map in particular. 3 minutes of basically tricky coordination, a bit of a wild card-esque in nature. If people thought Hera from last week was pretty hard, imagine doing that for 3 minutes. It's basically what this is. It's so easy to find yourself lost in the inherent one-hand trilly nature of this chart. Starts switching hands, and next thing you know, if you can't coordinate those releases well enough, definitely start to find yourself losing accuracy. It'd be interesting to see how these players do. Here we go. From this introduction, due to the nature of the song being over 3 minutes, gives you a bit more wiggle room if you do find yourself missing, but you definitely don't want to spot your opponent any extra misses than necessary, as it looked like Envy had a bit of a shaky start, but as I say that, finds a slider break, and that was a pretty significant drop. They were about to climb back up into the 99.6 range, down into the 99.3s, ahead in accuracy for the moment, but Halogen still holding on to the FC right now. I think that's going to be the name of the game. Hold on to the combo for as long as you can versus somebody that you know has, or potentially has, better accuracy than you do. And right now, it's not that far apart between the two of them.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting how Envy's been picking longer maps and Halogen has been tending towards shorter maps. I'm not sure if it's coincidence, but with Halogen picking like Fuego and Sacriverse, or no, what's the other one?
The Chaos Japan.
Chaos Japan, that one, yeah. And Envy picking ones like this and I think $100 bills.
Yeah, I think it might just be the nature of the map pool, where they just coincidentally happen to be longer, and through that opening exchange, going into the second third of the map, both players having a second to collect themselves for the moment. I'm going to see the scores as well. Halogen's going to know that they're ahead for the moment as Envy finds the drop in the transition into this more density-oriented section, and Halogen still holding on to the FC for the moment at 9.4 as Envy continues to drop. Halogen finally finds the trade back. I'm sorry for that one. I'll take responsibility for that one in particular, but Envy gonna continue to fall here. 99.0 down into that dangerous 98% range as Halogen finds the break on the transition out of that section, and in the exchanges, Halogen comes out ahead once again.
Yeah, Halogen holding combo for so long really gave him a large advantage, and especially in that he's still holding accuracy advantage.
Yeah, for sure. as we make our way into the last quarter of the chart. It is about a tenth of a percent, but I think Halogen has a couple of misses banked at the moment. It's going to be coming down to the wire. Of course, this map, by sheer nature, tests your mental stamina about as much as your physical stamina. These patterns start to get very repetitive, and you've been doing them for the better part of 3 minutes at this moment. Got to be able to hold on till the end.
Yeah, just relentless anchors and trills, and Halogen slipping up there, equalizing the accuracy.
Yeah, but I think they've done enough from this early part of the chart to basically bank a couple of drops here and there this late on. That being said, you don't want to give away too many. As the map starts to come to an end, it looks like Halogen has done enough, and they will take their second breakpoint of this match to go up 1-4 now.
Yeah, by a pretty slim margin in the end. Only about 10,000 points, less than that even. It's kind of interesting to see the result screen after that long of a map.
Yeah, I think with the amount of releases in that chart, it's going to be interesting to see those 300 counts from players this round. The 200s as well, just transitioning, especially that density section that really caught Envy out. And now we go into Rice 1, 2241.
Yeah, it's a stream-oriented pick. I do think this plays into Halogen's skill set, especially seeing as how the picks have proceeded before this.
Yeah, and Halogen's starting to break away from these shorter picks. One of the longest ones in the pool now for their pick. About 3.5 minutes. As you said, very stream-oriented map. And similar to the Middle East and some of these longer charts, misses won't be punished as heavily as some of these shorter maps, but like I said, it's very easy to let a run slip away if you're not too careful very early on.
Yeah, look at Halogen's accuracy right now, 99.9091. Just even in these first streams, I think that's a good indicator of how this pick will go.
Yeah, for sure. If you can handle the opening bits, there's really not much that changes. It's really just keeping the consistency, reading through some of these patterns. Very easy to get lost when you are reading them, but right now, very strong starts for both players. Both FCs still on the board, and we about to touch that 99.7 mark. Halogen ahead, about to reach that 99.9 mark, 0.2% separating these two players at the moment as we cross into the second quarter.
Yeah, this is where the real consistency test is. These more continuous streams is what really pushes your skill.
Yeah, for sure. A couple of jumps littered in, and Halogen gonna be finding the first break. Envy trades a couple of 200s in return, but holds on to the combo for the moment. That was a 50, I believe, on one of those grace notes. But Envy still manages to hold on despite having the accuracy deficit. That combo really starts to come into play in situations like this.
Yeah, Halogen doing well to maintain that almost 99.7, and recovering to the 400 combo cap. I think with just a little more from both sides, I think Halogen can recover from that miss without anything from Envy.
Yeah, it takes about 0.2% to make up drops like that. It's gonna be up to Envy to maintain course, but as I say that, as the bursts start to come through here, a little bit too much in the end, Envy gonna be finding a drop now, and that immediately swings the lead over to Halogen, but Halogen drops as well. Neither player has the combo to speak of. Now it comes down to the accuracy, and Halogen has been ahead for the moment as these two start to cancel out a little bit. Last third of the chart still left to go, about a minute left for these players to run through.
Yeah, this ending is gonna decide it. There's I think 1 or 2 more long streams here.
Yeah, I think it's really just these little implied mini jacks on the outer columns that are going to be the cause of concern, and Halogen finds a huge drop in accuracy, still ahead by the briefest of margin, but Envy trades it back with the miss.
99.2. Yeah, Halogen coming out of that on top, Envy dropping again, but without much of an accuracy loss.
Yeah, it's an inverse of what happened at the start of the chart. Halogen finding a break early and Envy trading it back with a bit of an accuracy drop, but now she was on the other foot. Halogen finds the accuracy drop, Envy finds the drop, and that one might be the one that does it as Halogen starts to pull away a little bit despite the misses. 99.5 accuracy on a chart like this for going on for this long as Halogen finds another break. Can't afford to find too many, but Envy trades it back. No combo to speak of once again, and these exchanges help Halogen in the end, and they make it a match point situation 1-5.
Yeah, overall, just a generally cleaner score by Halogen. Really deserves that point.
Yeah, they did find a couple of drops, but able to keep those drops relatively clean in comparison to Envy makes the difference here as Envy goes into what could potentially be their last pick. And it's gonna be Hybrid 2.
Interesting.
So maybe not wanting to test the Allen waters once again. Gonna live by the hybrids, die by the hybrids potentially as we go into Illegal Legacy.
Which point was it that Envy took? Was it the long note or one of the hybrids?
I believe they took Hybrid 3, and that was by a pretty slim margin.
Okay. I think
Well,
then,
slim in the context of this match.
yeah, I think this this pick makes sense then. It's
Yeah,
really hard to say what would be best for them right now, but I think I'm happy with this.
Yeah, so Envy on the brink of elimination, Halogen on the brink of setting up a date with either A Sharp or a Mr. Moo. Gotta be able to close it out. That last point's always the hardest in situations like this. But imagine from what we have seen, Envy definitely has it within them to claim this point. It's whether or not they can keep the run clean, keep the consistency going. They definitely have the accuracy advantage for the moment. 99.7, 99.5 in these opening exchanges. Both players holding on to their FCs, crossing that 400 combo cap with relative ease.
Definitely gotta be careful with all the shields in this map.
Yeah, for sure. Envy finding a bit of an accuracy drop down to that 99.6 range within touching distance of Halogen's as well. This is the closest these two have been this far into a map, going into the second third now. Not very long by any stretch of the imagination, just over 2 minutes. And they're within 0.03% of each other for now.
Envy takes a minor accuracy drop, but that's all it takes to swing the lead to Halogen's side. Oh, and a miss is huge.
Yeah, trying to transition into the section, getting your fingers ready. That's when you find your fingers missing the keys, and that's a slider break on the side of Envy. Gonna hand the lead over to Halogen for the moment. Another slider break coming out from Envy here. 99.3% to 99.6. 2 misses in the back pocket for Halogen to work with as well. A third one as we transition back into this more LN-oriented section. Last third of the chart left to go. Last third of the chart for Envy to try and pull a result out of this one, but it's not going to be. Another drop from them. Gonna drop them down into that low 99% mark. Quarter of the map still to go though.
Yeah, Halogen on an FC so far. Sorry.
Ooh, okay, that one's your fault.
That one's on me.
Last eighth of the chart left to go, but I think it is too little too late. Gonna need another couple of drops coming out from Halogen to give Envy any sort of shot to get back into this, but as the chart comes to an end, not a lot of tricks left up this map sleeve. And it will be Halogen punching their ticket into the second half of the semifinals weekend by a margin of 6-1.
Yeah, really convincing final point as well.
A very clean run overall. The ratios have been very close, but it comes down to that consistency at the end of the day. Congratulations to Halogen once again for moving on, and unfortunately for Envy, this will be the end of the line for them. We thank them for their time, their participation, but somebody has to lose in the end.
Yeah. And with that done, our next match will be determining who faces Halogen next. I'm Mr. Moo versus A Sharp coming up in a couple hours.
Yeah, but before that, we have Peach Marrow going up against Mitter at 21 UTC, so about an hour, 20 minutes. Definitely take a break, stretch, get some water, and come back for that one. Mash, you got anything else left to say?
Not much. Thank you for commentating with me. Thank you, Ketsu, for refereeing. And thank you everyone for watching. Thanks to the players for playing. Anybody I missed?
I think you got it covered, but until then, we'll catch you guys later.
See ya.